Sup everyone, Paul Clark here. Sup Paul, welcome back to the SUPPAUL podcast. Megan and I just got back to Asheville, North Carolina after a couple of months traveling through the Rockies, Colorado to the Canadian Rockies. Fantastic, more on that. I begin this podcast by talking about her as my girlfriend. Well, now we're engaged. This is a special podcast episode with Russian athlete Pavel Kochanov. I recorded this a few months ago before our road trip. I want to really thank Vera Fierce, my buddy from Utah, who's also Russian, for doing the live translations using AI and a variety of software applications to cut the episode so it makes sense. It was a little bit of a challenge, but thank you all for participating, and without further ado, Pavel Kochanov. My Russian is non-existent. I love your videos.
Thank you, Paul. In first video in Halager board, when I first view Halager board, it is you, Paul. It is now greatest moment when I speak with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Паш, привет.
Vera!
I was trying to join, and I see you guys talking. I am actually here. You just can't see me.
Perfect. Vera, Pavel, sup, Paul. You, Vera, are in California right now.
No, I'm actually in Salt Lake City.
Okay, back in Salt Lake. Okay. Introduce Pavel. He understands English much better than I understand Russian. So before we begin, I want to welcome Pavel.
Паш, Пол сказал, что он очень рад, что, собственно, мы тут все собрались. Он очень тебя хочет поприветствовать и поблагодарить за твое время, за то, что ты сейчас присоединился.
Уточнить, что точно ли у нас все хорошо, потому что видео немножечко у меня иногда спайкает.
Okay. Паш, сейчас я ему скажу. He said that there's like a little bit of a delay in the connection and his video is frozen, so he's gonna check things on his end, but we will just excuse his video for right now. He's trying to fix it. Paul, where are you now?
I am in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
My girlfriend and I are getting in the van tomorrow for a road trip west.
Okay.
We're going to Arkansas, we're going to Montana, we're going to the Canadian Rockies.
Montana. That's exciting. That is
and
exciting.
very possibly coming back through the Pacific Northwest and Utah. So,
Okay. When do you think you'll be coming back?
well, it's a month-long trip to 3 months, so maybe August.
Paul and Pavel are the same, but for there's a different way to say Pavel. It's kind of like official way to say his name, and Pasha is the short.
And how is the pronunciation of Kochanov?
I would say Kochanov would be the correct
Kochanov.
emphasis on
Kochanov.
his last name.
Pavel Kochanov from Russia. I've been following your social media for a number of months now, and I'm really impressed with your creativity, your freestyle, and the fact that there's whitewater in Russia that I want to go paddle on.
All right, Pavel Kochanov. Paul очень...
Это исключительно его заслуги. Наверное, может быть, 7. Я увидел Пола в Инстаграме.
Спасибо, сейчас я переведу. So also says that you played a big part and like you played a big role in him becoming a whitewater person and a whitewater paddler, right, as he is right now. Because 6 or 7 years ago, he's been watching your content on Instagram, and that he found it, and that reinforced, and like he loved it so much, and that reinforced his kind of desire to get into whitewater.
Thank you very much. And Vera, you're a wonderful translator.
I'm trying. I know like that probably there's some things that I'm kind of like adding from myself just because I know like the like I don't know. You can remove that later, but I'm excited to help you guys to communicate and bridge the gap.
And I want my audience to also know that Vera and I have paddled at the Whitewater Center in Charlotte, North Carolina together. She in a kayak, me and my friends on paddleboards. You definitely were scratching your chin that like these paddleboarders are a bit silly.
В воде. Я была на каяке, а они были на сапах. When people were standing on sups. And then I tried it, and it's like not that easy. And I was like, no, back to my kayak. It's much more comfortable there.
В России я когда занимаюсь whitewater и еду на какой-то спот кататься,
А потом я, скажу свое мнение. All of the kayakers are looking at him like he's crazy and asking him questions like, "Are you seriously gonna like go through this rapid on the like on the sup? Like, are you gonna knee down and like, are you gonna just knee and like go kind of like flat, like not standing?" And he's asking, is it the same perception, or have you gotten the same, attitude towards you, or like maybe people in your group when you're doing the whitewater sup from the kayakers or like other people?
Well, that's a great question and a great observation. What I experience over the years that I've been doing it, people in kayaks are confused by paddleboards until paddleboards rescue kayak swimmers.
Okay.
And as far as answering, do I stand through rapids? I tell people I stand up and swim down. I wonder if that translates. But the beautiful thing about paddleboarding is you could stand, you could kneel, you could sit, you could use it for a rescue device. And once people see the versatility, they are at least more open to it.
То ли выражение, то ли что, но вот, да, просто встану и буду плыть. И вот как люди хотят понимать, так и понимают.
I've seen paddleboarding become popular and become less popular over the years. And only in the last year or so has it become more interesting internationally because of people like Sam in Scotland who are dropping waterfalls, and Pavel with his 360 jumps, and Rama in Japan who's also doing freestyle. So I think Pavel and others are starting to push what's possible on paddleboarding and making it more attractive.
Пол сказал, что на протяжении лет...
кажись, этот чел наконец-таки сделал сап не скучным.
Хорошо, сейчас перейду. Pavel said that he, about the popularity of the whitewater sup, right, like along the lines, he has some videos that had 6.5 million views, and some of the comments that are there, it's like, I didn't even know that's possible. And he also comments that like people's perception that regular sup, like when people just do the stand-on paddling board on the flat lake, is boring. It
is.
I agree too. So it's boring, and that's why like maybe the sport is not that popular. But because of these videos and because they're kind of like pushing the border of what's possible and pushing the line of what's possible, they are getting more views, and like the sport is becoming more attractive because people can actually see how fun it is.
What I would love the sport to be is a form of diplomacy. So we're talking to Russia from the United States, Europe, Asia. I think river paddleboarding could be a way that we could shake hands. This is a great opportunity to shake hands. So who is his audience, I wonder? Are the most people coming to his channels from Russia or from all over the place?
Пол говорит, что, конечно, он бы хотел, что кто смотрит твои видео, это в основном люди из России или люди из других стран?
В России я только недавно начал набирать на самом деле популярность.
Про Чили, окей. Okay.
Про Чили.
Okay, let me summarize that. Let me translate that. Сейчас переведу ему. Good question. Pavel said that only recently, that his popularity and views from Russian audience is getting higher. But for the longest time, and right now, his audience in Russia is around 10% out of the all of the people who are watching his content. And for the longest time, the biggest audience was the US. It was like around 10-15%. And in the last 3 months, his views are coming, or his videos are becoming more popular in Europe, and mainly it's Germany, France, and Italy. And also he's getting a lot of support, and like there's a big community in Chile that he's getting a lot of views and a lot of support and a lot of comments. So that's the audience.
There's a big audience of people I don't know. I don't know if they even paddle. But Chile is also one of my biggest audiences, and Hala, the paddleboard brand, one of their biggest audiences too. And yet I only know about 5 people who paddleboard on rivers there.
That's interesting.
So let's get right to the meat of the conversation. Pavel lives near St. Petersburg. Is he able to travel into continental Europe to paddle? And how easy is it for Europeans to go into Western Russia now to paddle?
Пол спрашивает, для того, чтобы там заниматься, значит, сапом, да? It's a complex question, so there will be a complex answer. And maybe for Pavel, it's like the most painful question, especially right now, because of all of the difficulties with travel that's been kind of enforced since 2021, and all of the sanctions that are happening. And for any Russian person to go to Europe, you usually need a visa. And again, with all the sanctions and everything just being so expensive to even, to make a visa to go to Europe, that is just limiting a lot of people and himself as well to be able to go to Europe. And he has a family in St. Petersburg, so he doesn't want to leave the family and travel without them. But so he could potentially go, but he doesn't want to travel without family. But to travel with family, it's just kind of like the overall amount that you need is just skyrocketing for that just becomes too expensive. In terms of people from Europe traveling to Russia, again, there's the difficulty of getting a visa, but he has seen people from Finland, especially. So St. Petersburg is on the border with Finland.
Yes.
So I will have seen a lot of people coming with Finnish license plates. So people are traveling, so it's not completely stopped. And he would absolutely love to go to Finland or to go to other places too and paddle their rivers. And it's interesting that one of the river that starts in Finland goes into St. Petersburg area. So he's actually paddling the same river as people in Finland, just like in 2 different parts. The river's called Vuoksa.
Vuoksa.
Yeah, it's a river that originates in Finland but goes into St. Petersburg. So they technically paddle the same river, just in 2 different places.
Interesting, fascinating. I want to go, but the State Department doesn't advise it. Mm-hmm. There will be no access to cash with credit cards or debit cards. Mm-hmm. So how easy would it be for me to go anyway, if I were just to bring a bunch of cash and say, hey, let's meet at the Finnish border?
Paul, would you like me to answer this question, or would you like me to translate it to Pavel?
A little bit of both. Let him know what I just asked. So I'm curious his impression, but I also want your answer maybe to him too.
Он сказал, что он хочет твое мнение узнать, но он хочет и мое мнение, тоже узнать. I'm gonna translate what Pavel said, and then I'm gonna provide my perspective as well.
Wonderful.
First and foremost, to discuss this further, we just need to set up a date when he's picking you up at the airport.
A Finnish airport.
Russian airport. Because he would also love for you to come to Russia. and paddle there. From that perspective, you're welcome, and he's inviting you to come, and you don't need to worry about any kind of like, so safety concerns should not be your concern, because it's fair to say if he would come to America, if he would come to the US, he would be the same like unsafe as if you were to come to Russia. Like it depends. Like you could be safe, and Pavel said that if you will come, you will be sort of under his wing, and he will make sure that you are taken care of, and you will go to all of the best restaurants, and all of the like you will paddle all the good rivers. So like safety shouldn't be the worry. That's Pavel's answer. My answer is if you want to do something, you can do it. That's one, right? So like there are ways to overcome all of the difficulties that you just listed, meaning like if you can't use your credit cards, well, you can bring cash, right? Like there are ways to go around that. It's just the logistics issue. I am a little kind of worried about all of the travel and crossing the border, and I haven't been in Russia since 2020, so I'm not going for some reason, because I don't want to say the wrong thing and be kind of prosecuted for that. So like, and that's just my kind of my perspective. But that's just, again, I don't want to make this discussion a political discussion,
Sure.
but that's just my view.
Are you a dual citizen, or are you a Russian citizen with, yeah?
I am American citizen too.
I wonder if that's a better thing or a worse thing, or how that would
I don't know.
that would be.
I don't know.
You're gonna have to come to Russia with us and paddle. Maybe not. Yeah, so we're gonna ask about gear next.
И российская, ну вот у меня такое мнение. Okay. So Paul, we are moving to the next question. I just explained, Pavel, of what I said.
And one final bit on that: when would be the best time to paddle the rivers? Is that spring with runoff? Is that later in the season when it's better weather? When would you recommend to go into his area?
Лучше приезжать, чтобы покататься на реках. Pavel's main point of view that the higher the water, the better for paddling. And kind of with that, spring would be the best time to visit, because there are so many rivers, especially around St. Petersburg region, and all of these rivers are flowing, and there are like a lot of places to go paddle. In terms of, again, other seasons like winter or fall, that river Woksa is running in the winter and fall as well. In the winter, it doesn't freeze, and there are like a lot of good spots where you could still paddle. And that's in terms of St. Petersburg region. If you're talking about other areas in Russia where rivers are flowing, he probably thinks the same, that spring is the better season to visit. But there are local spots in other areas that also open year-round.
So that's very similar in the United States. So in Colorado, as you know, the high season has already arrived, and now it's going to go away. Mm-hmm. Where Oregon, you could paddle every day of the year. It just really depends on the region.
Паш, Пол сказал, что это очень, да, нет плохой погоды, есть плохая экипировка. Paul, I just said there's no bad weather. There's just not enough, there's a bad gear, not enough gear.
How do Russians get paddling gear? He has challah, he has badfish, he has dry suits. Obviously, he's able to get it in. Tell us about the process in getting foreign equipment.
Паш, Пол спрашивает насчет экипировки. Да, вот мы начинаем говорить насчет экипировки. That's a very good and difficult question, because the logistics for getting gear is very complex. Right now, there are no cool boards for whitewater in Russia that are produced in Russia. Also, he didn't say that, but assuming with what he said before, getting a foreign board is also difficult.
Я не могу бросить, например, свою семью а с семьей выехать уже становится более проблематично. Нужно очень хорошо зарабатывать.
Подожди, переведу, потому что много сказал.
Все верно.
Companies like because that would benefit him as an athlete, as an adventurer too, because like it's kind of sad or maybe boring or not as fun to just go and paddle all by yourself. And the accessibility of the equipment is a big thing, right? Because if the equipment is expensive, or if it's even if it's not expensive, but it's hard to get, then there are less people who will be participating in the sport. So there's like a difficulty of popularizing the sport. For him, he realized after not successful attempt of designing something with local brands that if he wants to be a top rider and if he wants to go through really difficult rapids, like top class rapids, he needs a good equipment. So, and he knows that the Hala, Fish, and others are those top equipment suppliers, and he just needs to get his hands on them. And 5 years ago, he got the NRS board, and that was the big investment. And after that, he just told his family that, you know what, you guys, from now on, we just have to, we have this big expense, like a line on the expenses, and if we all need to eat buckwheat, then there's a way.
So does his family support his craziness? Are they on the water as well?
Как твоя семья относится к твоему спорту? Pavel said that all of his success is dedicated to his family, right? It's because of his family, and his wife is his main coach. Because even when he just wants to have a chill day and lay on the couch, she would be kind of walking, hanging around and push him to get off the couch and go into this cold water and be uncomfortable.
Get out there.
Yep, exactly. And she's also the main filmmaker or a content creator of all his paddling, because sometimes she would just film it on an iPhone and then upload this video, and that's how all this content was created and popularized because of his family.
Well, that's a wonderful element to it too. I like this support. The best content is coming from people who have a photographer and the willingness to experiment. So the people from Scotland that we mentioned, and Japan, and here even in the United States, the combination of a filmmaker, content creator, and the athlete, it's a very important combination. If you don't have that combination, the content just really is not very engaging. So he's on that list of people who are able to do that. And as a photographer, I'm spending more time photographing others. And so you don't see me on the water as much because I'm more interested in telling stories. But if you're taking selfies, you don't really enjoy the paddling. You're just frustrated with the camera angles.
Вот, и, невозможно снимать селфи и наслаждаться в одно и то же время. Pavel just wanted to add that in relation to what you, Paul, said about making selfies and having the good operator. Last year, Pavel organized the freestyle SUP league, and it was on flat water. People were doing freestyle things. So his wife Ksusha, or Ksenia, she was there too. And what he said, she's usually the one doing all the filming. And he told her, go ride. And after she did, she mastered everything and she got the first place. So he said that the best combo that you can ever have is when your operator can actually ride, and then is just that's the way to go, and that's the path to make the best videos when you have an operator who can ride, maybe not as good but almost as good as you.
That's a really interesting dynamic, and it's fascinating, and we could talk more about it. We have only a couple more minutes left, so I want to ask two more questions. First of all, how old is Pavel?
Паш, очень интересно, и у Пола есть очень много чего добавить, значит, ну, в эту тему.
Да-да-да, конечно.
He's 38.
How do you set
Поэтому
someone up for
оставим это без
success?
комментариев. И
How,
давайте перейдем к следующему
what do you
вопросу.
focus on for making a person enjoy their experience and progress? Is it feet? Is it paddle height? Is it equipment? How do you set someone up for success?
My understanding, Pavel is coaching other people. What do you mean, the feet?
So, like, where you stand on the board could really
Oh, okay.
mean how stable or performance oriented they are. I'm really focusing in my coaching on how people stand. So, what is his guarantee that a person's going to be improving?
Это если касается конкретно моего региона, где я живу.
He's done the research on how people are learning and what it is that is kind of like the main point when people are starting, learning how to paddle. The main fear people have is to fall. So people are afraid to fall, and that is like the fundamental what's stopping people from progressing. And he done research, he like did the questionnaire of like all the people, like in his group, and that was the answer. So they're afraid to fall. So his main philosophy is
Я
to work
абсолютно согласен
with
с
the
этим.
fear and kind of like removing the fear, and that's number one. So standing on the SUP is important, but like not the most important thing.
У меня здесь
We
будет
should
много
always
информации,
focus on
поэтому можем
progression.
перевести по
We
частям.
should challenge our fears and reach out to people regardless of where they are to have a handshake. I think river paddling can really be a good diplomatic opportunity, and I look forward to progressing as a paddler and being a better person by knowing you, Pavel, and thank you, Vera, for being a big part of this as well.
Thank you, Paul. Паш, Пол говорит, что, ну, конечно, ему было очень приятно. Паш, я начну, да, спасибо большое. Paul, so what Pavel said, that there's a saying and there's a belief, and I don't know, at least in Russia, I'm not really sure if it's the same belief in the US, but I'm pretty sure it is. When you are standing in between people with the same name, so two different people with the same name, and you are standing in between them, you can make a wish and it will absolutely come true. So there's a saying. And Pavel is saying that, I am that person that is standing between two poles from two different continents, but having the same name, and I can make a wish. And he also encourages me to make a wish, and I will make this wish public, right? That I really wish for whitewater SUP to become more popular and bring people together and develop even further and reach more people and kind of connect them with each other. And I even have the goosebumps. Like, I really wish that whenever you release the content or you you share the whitewater subculture or some videos, he can learn and he can get that energy, because it gives a lot of energy for him to be inspired and then to do cool things and then to build that community in Russia where he is.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pavel. Thank you, Vera. It's been insightful. It's been an opportunity to work through technical and language challenges, and everyone has a big, bright smile. So I think we've done it well. Have a great evening and have a great day. And let's call that a wrap.
Thank you, Paul.